best, but to expect more, to have the greatest, even if I'm not the greatest. I am a sinner. We are all sinners over here. No one is perfect. At least, but the good thing is, at least you can admit to your sins. I have made so many sins. It's terrible. I envy those who have not done what I've done. I've broken promises. I even broke promises to God. But he still forgives me, and he knows I feel terrible about it. But, not many people understand how faith can keep you going. And a lot of people just give up on God because I pray to God. He doesn't answer my prayers. It's like, hold on. 1, do you really have Jesus in your heart? 2, when you are praying to him, are you really speaking out with your heart? Are you really pleading out? Or are you just, God, will you save me? No, you had to mean it. You had to give your all for him. Because what he does in the end is a miracle and a blessing. And a lot of people take it for granted. Maybe the prayers don't get answered right away, but they will. I can guarantee it. Because it's happened to me in a lot of situations. Like, one time I almost saw someone kill themselves in front of me. And it was probably the scariest moment of my life. And I remember I called the cops. But the person said if I called the cops, they'd kill themselves. And they were next to me. So I hung up right away before I could talk to them. And they called me back. And I had this little tiny voice of fear in my tone saying, when they called back and said, are you okay? Do we need to send anyone over or whatever? I'm like, no, I'm fine. And then I did like a little whimper, but I was scared. That was one of the most scariest things I've ever seen. I could never see anyone give up their life, especially someone that's not communicating with me and not letting me talk to them and ignoring me and going crazy. And I could not help. But I don't want to. It happened actually this year. Well, actually, technically last year, but during my sophomore year, it happened. And it's a lot to talk about. And I know I'm not supposed to talk about it specifically about anyone, but that was a really scary moment in my life. I remember praying and crying and wishing and hoping and staying strong about the whole thing to God about save me, save this person. And I kept holding hope, and I really thought this person was really, they had like the knife right to their neck. And then I hear a knock from the cops, and there was like literally 15 cops at my house at 3 o'clock, like midnight, somewhere around there. Right at the perfect time they came, and you should have seen my face. I was on my knees just crying and thanking the Lord because he came at the perfect time. Right when you think you're going to lose hope and the worst is going to happen, God just somehow gives instinct to people and tells them, you need to help someone. This is no joke. And that is something that in my heart I could never, ever think enough, because you have no idea how much that impacted me right there this year. That's when I started really getting into faith, like beyond. This is when I started like my Jesus statuses all the time, and I was like, this is real. I've seen it happen to me. I don't care what you say, if it was just because the cops or whatever, because what kind of call brings like 12 cops to my house, even though I told them that everything's okay. They usually would send 2 or 3 max. They sent, and then there was an ambulance, and it was crazy. Now you guys can say all you want, but I know how I feel about it, and that's about me, and I don't know. And, okay, but, I was very little when I gave my life to God. I was like, because I've always grown up and I've been to church a lot. Went to church a lot. I've always prayed to the Lord. I've always sang to the Lord. I've always been happy with the Lord. I was there. And I'd tell him every day how I felt. I'd sing him songs about how my day was. I would just talk to him because he would always listen to me. And I'd pray for the times when me and my brother had to witness my mom and my brother's dad. They were having really bad fights. And I remember me and my brother being in a bottom bunk just praying to God, hoping everything would be okay. Eventually they would be. But it's scary to be little and hear terrible things and mean names and not being able to do anything. I don't ever, like I said, I don't ever want my future kids to ever witness that. Although my childhood was around parents fighting in the Christian Dance Center and when my father and grandmother's passing, I thank the God all the time. I thank God, because at the time I'd rage out at God, yelling at him why he would put me through all these unbearable moments in my life. But now, at 15, almost 16, as I started finding who I am and who I wanted to be, I found out that, why God put me through those things, and why he gave me a optimistic mindset and strength. He gave me kindness and skills of reacting to situations that are dreadful. Lately, I've had the urge to just speak about my life and show how God made the bad times into good ones for the future. Although many people may not listen or care, others I may feel like my purpose is to give them hope in one's life who have lost all hope. I want to let people know that they are not alone, that even in this darkness they have made by the devil's shadow, there's brightness in every tunnel that you walk through. And I just wrote that, and I just saw it, and I was like, I need to read this, because it's relevant to everything. And yes, I totally write this. You know my handwriting, but a lot of people think God won't forgive them because of their sins. My past haunts me, and I still feel like a disappointment being 15 and doing things I can never take back or change. And I did those things because I was in love with the boy that boys were not even worth it now that I look back. It's something that I feel I disappointed everyone in. And I used to be called the slut. I was like a freshman slut, I guess you'd say, last year. One of them, at least. And a lot of people thought that. But no one knew what was happening. Because once I met Raphael, after me and him didn't have a thing anymore, my life was really bad. I felt so terrible about myself. I regret it all. And I was scared about how my family was going to react to that. And they didn't know for a long time. I have so much guilt. I prayed for forgiveness, although my plan was to wait till marriage and everything. I didn't follow through with my word. And I think after things happened, I grew a lot of disappointment for myself. I thought I was worthless and it's something I can never take back. My grandparents don't know about this. I am again afraid to tell them that they'd be disappointed. I have such potential and it's basically gone. The number of people I'm not proud about, and I'm sure most people would call me a slut still. And I feel judged, and I feel like I'm not that. I'm not a slut. I feel like I'm not a bad person. If you saw me, you probably would not think I've done all those things that I have. And it's just like, my freshman year was not a good year for me. I had a lot of bad things happen to me. And it took me my sophomore year to, ever since I started going to CSM youth group at Community Church, it opened my eyes. And it was probably the biggest impact in my life. And I just took one simple day out of my week, a Wednesday, to sit around and learn about the Lord. And it made me realize more and understand more about the Bible and the gospel and all that. It's cleansing, and it gives me a lot of positivity in my life. And it helps me embrace my love for Jesus lately. And I'm so proud of myself. I actually am. Because ever since I've been going to CSM, I feel like I'm a much better person. I feel like I have more potential and I get better grades and I'm more proud of myself more often and I'm more happy and I don't let the little things that would have gotten me last year and brought me so down. Like I'm strong and I ignore it and I react so much better because all I do is have hope. I have faith. I'm strong. It's like it doesn't faze me because I know it's going to get better. I know that God has a better plan for me in my life. But I had to go through these hardships. I had to look at these and look how they how all these, either alcoholism in my family, how there's guys over at my house sometimes who I don't even know. And it's like, I look at that, and I'm just like, I don't want that. I don't want to be these people. I want to be someone else. I want to help people. I want to be a difference. I want to make a change. And I know it's a lot of talk right now, but I feel like this is what God's telling me. And right now, talking about this, I feel great. I actually do. I don't know what this message is, but basically after 23 minutes, if anyone actually watched this, my lesson is you will have bad times. Past, present, future will never be perfect. Your life will never be perfect. You may think it will be perfect, but it will stop being perfect if that's what you think. A lot of people don't believe in God. A lot of people do. A lot of people believe in a different God. A lot of people believe in the same God as I do. Again, I'm not here to discriminate anyone's beliefs. But this is how God has really affected my life and made me think much clearer and more optimistic. There's a lot of stories that I would love people to hear. If you just go to a church, like a youth group, and just talk to someone like on either like the youth group board or the church pastors, those guys, and just talk about it, and just really either listen to their stories with God or just you talk about your life, and then they pray for you. It's so magnificent. Because everyone has a different story, and everyone else has had different bad times. But then you look at some people like who I met yesterday, Travis. He took a bad time in his life about being adopted, and he transformed it into a good time because that helped him become the guy who he is. How he got brought into a Christian family, and then he went to Bible school and he became a youth leader, and how he's trying to get in a ministry or something like that. And I think that's freaking awesome. Because God does have a purpose. He may make you go through really, really tough times. But once you overcome that and He gives you the strength and positivity and help and everything, it's like, it's so worth it. The pain, the tears, the hurt, it's like, it's something you cannot explain unless it happened to you personally. And that's why I just want everyone to know that life sucks, but have hope. Because God has a great purpose for you. And you just need to sit down, think about it, talk to God, pray to God. He's listening. He listens to everyone. And it's only up to you to give your life to God. But I accepted Jesus in my heart, and I feel so different than I did freshman year. I feel like I became someone with more worth and positivity and optimistic than I did last year. Last year, a lot of people thought I was a nice person, but this year I feel like more thankful. I look at the smaller things and things. I don't ask for much. I am happy with the littlest things because I compare myself to Jesus, and I'm like, I will never be that great. Jesus deserves more than anything anyone could ever buy, make. But He has my heart, and He has my soul. And ever since I've given my life to God and let Him morph my future and help me create who I am, I feel like a much better person. And I'm happy with who I am. But I don't care. I'm a Jesus freak. I totally love Jesus. And I would really like it if you guys go to community church